right. And we it's taking a second to buffer. All right, we're good.
Didn't we stream to the wrong Twitter last time?
Yeah, we fixed it this time. Whoops.
Like we said, 5th episode. We're new.
Learning curve. It's fine.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the Yinzhers podcast, episode 5, officially brought to you by Infinity Trades X. I'm Morgan Erzo here with my co-hosts Jordan DeFiscio and Samantha James. So happy to be back with you. Thank you so much for tuning in, sticking with us. We're happy to be back for another week. What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Great. My head's spinning a little bit from the last couple days, but St. Patty's Day. Yeah, I know. I think I did develop some form of like tendonitis or carpal tunnel. I don't know.
Straight up just PTSD for the whole week.
Yeah,
so, and it's rough. Getting worse as the hours go on. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We have some awesome guests with us here today. Jordan, you want to do a quick intro?
I would love to. Sitting directly beneath Morgan in this virtual chat room are Joey and Riley Mulinaro. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hi, nailed the last name. Way to go.
Love it. I went to school with some Mulinaros. That's right. I just have it in my blood, my marinara sauce blood. Yeah.
We're doing good. This is great. Love you guys' work. Phenomenal and excited to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, of course. I mean, really, we're just using Joey to get you, Riley. So I'm glad it worked out.
100%.
I know. I'm the funnier half. He's just the one that got more recognition fast.
I 100% believe that.
Exactly.
Without a doubt, believe that.
And just ride the coattails on your way up, baby girl. And then once you get there, you can just
fly.
Cut bait.
Yeah. Fly on your own. Yeah. So yeah, it's no secret that he's obviously well known across the internet and the sports world now, and more prominently for his fanship of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I know isn't necessarily something that you would say about yourself. So given the nature of Steelers fans and what we can be like, what, from your outside perspective, is it like to look in on the life of a Steelers fan?
Yeah. So we're from Indianapolis, both of us, like born and raised. Our families are from here. So my family I grew up a Colts fan. My dad has like a Colts Super Bowl tattoo. I have brothers who are fans, like my whole family. And my brother played football like all growing up. So like I've been around football like a majority of my life. And when we were first dating and I would come around, I mean, it's an every Sunday thing. Like we go to his parents' house, we watch Steelers games, the whole family comes, my sister-in-law, his sister, her husband, everyone's there. And I didn't realize like how much football like affected people's like personal lives and like how much it could affect like the attitude of like an entire family for a whole day. And like, it was just so beyond. And like my family watches football, but like, unless there's something crazy going on, like we're not screaming at the TV or anything. And like, it's just like full yelling all the time. And I didn't know if it was an Italian thing or a Steelers thing or what it was. And so now I just kind of like sit quietly and let everyone do their thing. I mean, it's been 3 years now, so I'm pretty used to it.
It's like, all right, there goes another book at the TV. Another remote smash.
Every year I've limited, I don't throw things anymore. I don't hit things. I mostly just yell. So we're making progress.
That's some self-control and
restraint. Yeah, he's really been doing great year after year.
It's hard.
Growth.
That's why I can't watch games in the bar because I just am like, I want to scream the F word constantly. And people think like I'm a psychopath.
Yeah. Like we were first engaged, and it was one of her first real experiences of it in the 2018 Saints game, 2 days before Christmas, when that bullshit pass interference,
Oh.
pass interference call. I mean, like it was. I mean, luckily she wasn't there. Thank God for the Jesse James Patriots game. He was in Florida, and I didn't literally. She just knew, and I didn't talk to her for probably like 2 hours. I just I needed time to I blacked out that entire time, and I wasn't even drunk. I just needed time to recoup myself after that. So
and I was visiting my grandparents, and I was with my dad, and we had the game on just so I would know the attitude of my boyfriend at the time. So I knew okay, should I text him? What's going on here? And for real, for 2 hours after the game, I don't think we spoke.
No.
I was like,
that was a rough one.
Yeah.
It took a long time to recover. And that's the thing, just talking about it, thinking about it right now, going on 4 years later, it still pisses me off.
Still fires you up.
Yeah,
my heart is racing. I have an exertion headache just thinking about it.
He caught the fucking ball and he crossed the goal line. It's a touchdown. He caught it and he crossed the goal line. Touchdown, end of discussion. It's a touchdown.
It's something we're never gonna let go for sure. It's just going to be brought up constantly. Every time I see that picture, I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's awful.
There were shirts circulating in Pittsburgh about we latch on and never let go, but it's for good reason.
Much like players, which is why free agency is so effing hard right now.
Yeah.
We get attached to these moments that have depressed us. I honest to God think Steelers fans are just we love the hurt. We love the self-loathing that comes with being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, because inevitably you're going to fall in love with a wide receiver who's going to leave. You're going to see these moments that happen right in front of your face, and everyone knows it's a touchdown or everyone knows it's a catch. And then all of a sudden the refs decide, oh, it's Pittsburgh. I guess it's not that. So.
Well, that's why I learned. And I told Chase Claypool this when I messaged him, when I interviewed him. I said, look, dude, I've learned from Mike Wallace, from Antonio Brown, I'm not going to get your jersey. I'm not really going to get anything, gear-wise that's associated with you, because I got an Antonio Brown jersey. I got a Mike Wallace jersey, multiple of them, and then all of it went to hell. So I was like, look, dude, and I do with Juju. Plenty of times I wanted to get a Juju jersey. And hey, right now as we record, or we're live, it's 9:30 on Wednesday. He hasn't been signed anywhere. Maybe that means he's coming back to Pittsburgh. I hope so.
Right.
But it's I haven't gotten a Juju jersey. We haven't gotten any Chase Claypool stuff, because I told him, I said, dude, I want you to be a Steeler for life. I want you to be like a Hines Ward. I don't want to do this to you. So, I feel you there.
It's rough. I also had a Mike Wallace jersey and an Antonio Brown jersey. And then I got a Juju jersey. And I think that was when I was like, whoa, probably time to pump the brakes on those receiver jerseys, Jordan, because it seriously feels like I'm the curse there, because it's like Mike Wallace, he's never leaving. He's so good. And then I was like, Antonio Brown, the guy that we kept over Mike Wallace, he's never leaving.
Yep.
And then I was like, Juju.
To be fair, the AB situation, he would not have left if he hadn't initiated that himself. So,
and that's true. That is totally fair, because we were all in on him. So,
well, what's my rule on jerseys, right? Tell him my rule on jerseys now.
He won't buy a jersey until someone retires a Steeler.
Or they're dead.
Or they're dead.
Dead.
Or they're dead.
I mean, it's a little dark, but
Gonna say it's a little bit morbid, but
that's
a surefire way to know that that's
LC Greenwood's not going anywhere. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
What Steelers fandom does to you.
Really illogical thinking patterns, but at the same time, totally logical. They all make sense.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone should buy jersey.
We're tracking completely with you there. My gosh.
They can't hurt you anymore at that point.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The pain is already long gone.
Dead. Yeah.
God. Oh, So you work for Barstool. That was a relatively recent thing that I saw you posted yesterday or the day before that. That was your year mark at Barstool.
Yeah.
So you've been creating content for them, working from home for a year. Riley, what is that like for you? Is there a process that he goes through that are you like his sounding board for different ideas? What does that look like?
It depends. Like, it very much so depends. Like, sometimes, so I was furloughed from March until I just started a new job like mid-January. So we're together in this 1 and then eventually 2-bedroom apartment nonstop for like nearly a year. And sometimes, like, yeah, he would talk to me about an idea. He'd be like, hey, I'm gonna, do this, whatever. Like, thankfully I wasn't like on Zoom calls with like a company or something. So like it didn't bother me too much, but like there would be times when he's in one room, I'm in another room, and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs for whatever like the impression is that he's doing. But I would get no warning. So it would just like scare the daylights out of me, and I would just have to like be quiet and wait till it was over. Like, okay.
Did you like crawl under a table?
Oh, there's been like multiple times where he would do, in our old place, he would do like interviews or podcasts or whatever from our couch, and I will just crawl behind the couch so that I'm not bothering anyone. Like, and he's great about it. Like, he'll be like, you can just walk behind me, but like, I just don't want to, I don't know, be distracting.
You should just start like popping your head up in like random place, like from the side of the camera, just for like 2 seconds
like
at a time and not saying anything. Yes,
like our cat,
exactly.
Like peeking around the corner every once in a while.
Yep.
So you have a cat
really
and a dog.
That bad. People ask me all the time, like what it's like to be like in the apartment with him when he's doing this kind of stuff, and like he puts out new content every single day. So after nearly 365 days of it, like you just get used to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Joey.
Favorite impression of his?
I think my favorites are probably like ones that people either have never heard or like don't care about, like a good like Patrick Star, or like someone that we know, or like stuff like that. Like he does a killer impression of like both my mom and my stepdad. And it's like nobody cares about those, but like to me, they're great.
Right. That's actually hilarious. Patrick Star.
Do a Patrick Star. I want to see.
Okay, Patrick Star talking about what?
Free agency. Yeah.
Where Juju's gonna sign.
Juju. Hopefully signs with the Steelers. I don't know. I just laugh like I'm really. I don't know. Every time her mom gets drunk, she always says, every single time, dude, without fail, she's always like, look at me. You are the only one that I've ever liked.
Talk about all my previous boyfriends.
She's brought the other boy. You're the only boyfriend that I ever liked.
Which is not a lie. She's not lying.
And then she ended up marrying you.
It's like
be dying.
And he's done it for her before too, so she's not going to be blindsided.
You know what's funny about that though is like people, in real life who aren't like, public figures or whatever, like, because I do like impressions of my buddies and stuff, and they're always like, I don't know, is that me? And I'm like, yes, that is 100% you. Like, yeah. It's funny that even people that are just, like regular people who regular jobs or whatever, if you even impersonate them, they're just like, really? Is that? I don't know.
Is that how I come across?
Right.
That's
and
so
her mom
funny.
even kind of does that, but yeah, it's funny.
I was going to ask if her mom is like, oh yeah, that's spot on me. Or if she's like, what?
Her stepdad laughs his ass off, but yeah, but her mom, she gets it now. But at first I think she was kind of like, this guy impersonating me. Who is this? Maybe I don't like him that much.
I was just gonna say she's not gonna tell you you're the only one she's liked anymore if you do that.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm screwing myself.
We did have a request on Twitter. Someone wants to see Collinsworth.
Oh.
And then we'll chill with the impressions, I promise.
Oh, wow. He's leaving the frame for this one. So it's serious.
It's very serious.
Oh my gosh.
I'm scared. God.
Boy, we've been waiting to go on the Yinzhers podcast all day. I mean, here's three girls who talk about football, who know the Steelers better than anybody does, Al. I mean, they're just doing it like nobody else is doing it. And I can tell you that I am really excited to be here. There is no doubt about it.
Love it.
Oh, amazing.
Oh my
Killed it.
Yeah,
Good Lord. I was about to say, where do you come up with this stuff? But then I remember they give you the material. They give it to you. Collinsworth gives you a load of material every time.
Yeah, Chris is my guy. I love Chris. He's been on my show. He's been a great sport about all of it. You know, he'll quote tweet it every now and then. And I was honored, you know, a couple months ago, he was like, he's just so funny, man. I don't know how people can't like Chris Collinsworth. Like, he's just the smoothest operator. And I forget what video it was that I did, but he quote tweeted and he was like, I gotta admit, Joey cracks me up. You know, like, I was like, yes. So,
even that was perfect.
Right? I know.
Reading
Mission
his quote
accomplished.
tweet. My gosh.
what does it is he doesn't talk with anything but his top teeth and his lips. He's all right here. Al,
Not even good at
you look at it, and that's not like anything I've never seen, Al. I mean, sorry, Riley's like grabbing me. She's like, shut the fuck up.
No.
It's all right. That's why you're here. This is good.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is too much. This is hilarious. But yeah, so spot on. And he gives you so much content. And I mean, all the creators, all the analysts, like, it's too easy.
Yeah. No, you know, I mean, I always love when people are just like good sport. And really, I've been lucky. Like, obviously, I do other stuff besides like impressions and everything. But like, the people that I impersonate, I've not run into anybody who's like, you know, upset about it. You know, everybody's just like a good sport.
Yeah,
that's good.
Because, you know, I think that they know that like I'm not coming from it from like a mean place. Like,
Right.
you know, all the people that I impersonate, pretty much all the people that I impersonate, it's just because I know them so well because I'm such big fans of them. You know, like
Right.
Collinsworth and Cowherd and Coach O and you know, Fallon and, you know, even Saban to an extent. You know, like I'm just such big fans that like in my mind, I'm like, I watch you, I know you so well because I'm a fan that I feel like I can pick up on your stuff. So it's been,
it's like a compliment.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
in a weird way.
It's like an admiration or so.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Let's transition into free agency talk, which is very touchy.
Giving us all
right
brain
now.
aneurysms.
Yeah,
We're gonna start with Bud Dupree signing with the Titans. He got what, 16.5 million?
5-year, 82.5 million. So
Okay.
that's 16.5 per.
Yeah.
Which actually is under what we were anticipating him getting per year. I think Spotrac had him at like 18. If we had franchised him, he would have been at 18.2 or 18.5, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, people did think that he might get over that. Obviously, we're in a weird cap year.
Yeah.
So it
weird.
sucks to lose him. And it sucks to see how, I mean, I know he's happy about the money, but he seems really happy to be leaving too. And that breaks my heart. But what do we do now? Like without Bud, we knew it was coming, but Highsmith, what you got on him?
Yeah. Alex, so I could consider Alex a buddy of mine. I've been lucky. Like we during the season, we talked pretty regularly. I haven't talked to him in a little bit now, just kind of letting him chill in the off season and everything. But, I think Alex showed in the last, 3 or 4 games that we didn't have Bud last year that, he's got what it takes, in his rookie year and the year that he didn't have a regular off season coming in with, OTAs and minicamp and all that kind of stuff. And as much as we loved Bud, Alex Highsmith was light years. What the fuck? Light years.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Every 4 years.
That extra day.
He was light.
He got an extra day on Bud.
Right. He was light years above where Bud Dupree was his rookie season. I think we all
absolutely
on that.
Absolutely.
So, I'm excited as hell for Alex. I think he's going to be a really, really good player for us.
Yeah.
I just think that now with TJ and Alex in there, it just means that, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, second round, third round again, we go pass rusher in this upcoming draft, just because I think Caboli made it a point on Twitter the other day. He was like, we didn't see that much of a drop off when it was TJ and Alex out there.
Right.
We saw the drop off was when you went to Cassius Marsh and Ola Adeni. I can't.
Yeah.
Adenii or
Ola.
something?
Adenii.
Yeah. That's where we saw the drop off rather than going from TJ and Bud to TJ and Alex or whatever. That's where we saw the drop off. So
yeah.
I feel really good about Alex Highsmith. Alex. We talk about the Mandalorian. Every
nice.
week.
Okay.
Love
He's a
that.
big Star Wars fan too. So we would message about the new Mandalorian and everything. But I haven't talked to him a little bit. It's a good reminder. I'll check on him.
Yeah.
He seems like a super cool dude.
He really does.
And his family seems great too. Like his dad, Sam, everyone just they seem so not just supportive of him, but they love Steeler Nation. Like they love the fans. They love being a part of it. It's dope.
Yeah, they were all on board. I don't know. I don't know how old you guys are. I bet you're probably younger than me. I'm 27, but
nope,
older.
33.
And I'm also 27.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're all relatively close in age.
Yeah.
Sure. Riley's 25. Don't know why I told you that, but
in case you needed it for your notes.
But my point is that 27, and then it's just weird to remember sometimes that people like Alex, he's 22. He's most of these guys on this team are babies compared to
100%.
You know what I mean? So he's just a really good kid, man. He's just a good dude, and I think he's going to be a really, really good player.
It's so wild just when you start to get ahead of NFL players, especially growing up being so invested in watching them, to all of us. The first time I had that moment was whenever they drafted Juju, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Hold on. He's 20. He's how old?
Juju's incredible. He's been 20 for literally 5 years.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like, what is going on here? We drafted him when he was 20, and he's still only 22, maybe.
Yeah. It's that leap year phenomenon.
Yeah, seriously. Was he born on February 29th? I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Good God Almighty.
Gosh,
yeah.
So true. He's still such a baby. And I think people forget that when, they're like, oh, Juju, TikTok, he's 24 years old. You guys gotta let it go. Gotta let it go.
Yeah.
We're in that.
Not
age.
just that, but even if it was a 30-year-old doing it,
Great.
Who the fuck actually cares? Why does that bother you so much that someone likes to have a social media presence? Why is that such a big deal?
Yeah, there's this,
there's a stigma around it.
There's this thing about middle-aged white guys who are losers who they really have a hard time adjusting to new things and understanding things that are cool really is what it comes down to. So,
yeah. You're not wrong.
And then they're just mad about it. They just stay mad about it because they don't understand why it's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys can just fit in.
Right. Yeah. Wearing their Oakleys in the front seat of their car, randomly taking selfie for some reason and posting it as your profile picture. Hates TikTok.
Make sure it's an upshot though.
Hates TikTok.
The best one is there's a guy on Twitter, and we talked about this last week, but it's still hilarious because he's still there. He cannot wait for Juju to sign with another team. He is a McDonald's McRib picture. Okay. So the sandwich comes into my mentions at least right now about every other day. And I'm just like, I can't just go away. It's a sandwich. And I tell him that I called him a boomer last week and he literally DM'd me his birthday. And I was like,
oh, my word.
You know what's so weird about that is the McRib only makes a comeback like 2 months out of the year. So why are you always,
aren't you in hibernation right now, dude? Yeah. Like, go away.
Right. Exactly.
Also, like for real, I would love to know what type of job you would have to have that much free time and mental space to be on Twitter so much with your picture as a McRib, tweeting about Juju leaving Pittsburgh. Like I want that job with that much flexibility.
I want that much mental capacity at the end of the day to like spend that much time on something that would matter.
Be so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Sounds nice.
Maybe minus the McRib.
Minus the McRib.
Plus it's Lent right now. Like it's time for the fish fillet.
Fillet of fish.
Fillet of fish. It is. Change it up, dude.
I can't relate to any of this at all right now.
I'm so mad. I would do anything for like a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich right now. I would do anything for it. I mean, you guys don't know, but I'm in competition prep. So like I can't eat any good stuff. Nothing good.
Competition.
Everything that you hate.
Cheerleader. What?
No. Like
like weightlifting.
Yeah.
Bikini. One of my friends that I went to college with is a bikini. I think she got her pro card like a year ago or so. And
nice.
She's great, but she is like constantly on prep. And I'm like, she loves it. She lives for it. And I'm like,
honest to God, like I told my boyfriend, I was like, I hope you're ready to be like a show husband, because like, this is our life. This is what we're going to be doing for the rest of my life. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
But times like these, when you're all sipping on beer and wine and I'm drinking my water out of my shaker.
It'll be worth it though.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Are you a spicy chicken sandwich or just regular chicken?
Spicy, 100%.
You dip it in ranch?
Polynesian sauce.
With the spicy?
Yes.
Interesting.
The spicy mixed with the sweet and sour sauce. Oh my God. Luca. He agrees.
That's good to know. Because I go ranch when I go spicy. And Polynesian.
Yeah, that sounds so good. Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Oh, get some cheese on there. Extra pickles.
Guys, so you're killing me. Moving on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we'll let it go.
We'll move on. Okay.
So Bud wasn't the only. Yeah. He was not the only piece on the defense that left. Tyson Alualu. What in the world?
That was unexpected. I did not think that was going to happen. I thought we would get him. Exactly. When I saw his contract, which is 2 years, $6 million, I for sure thought like it was insane that we wouldn't match that, because he's absolutely worth that. You saw the drop off on that defense when he got hurt last year. It wasn't even comparable. So I said it was indefensible for them to let him walk. Then later we heard that he actually, wanted to be in Jacksonville, which who knew? That's new to us.
Yeah. Like not many people can say that. Yeah.
Jacksonville. Right. Exactly. But what does this mean now? Like, this is a huge loss.
Yeah. The run defense, especially when he was out, took a big blow. I know he started there in Jacksonville, so I don't know how much that played into
for
him.
sure.
I want to go down.
And his family still lives there apparently, which I learned today. So like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Just did not see it
but I think anytime us Steelers are like, wow, you don't want to play for the Steelers, that's a big blow to the ego. You know, it's like, what the hell's the matter with you? How do you not want to play for the Steelers?
Right. Like, what did we ever do to you? Like, but love you. We just loved you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. So I know. Yeah, him and Mike. I know we're probably gonna get to that, but that killed me, man. Mike Hilton, man.
That was hard because you like another one with Bud. Like you knew it was gonna be Mike or Cam, and so it still hurt. Like you knew it was coming, but it still hurt so bad.
And it was made worse because he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So
we were at the Monday night game this past year, 4 days before Christmas.
Whoa.
And, it's always great to see the boys live in person, you know, but what a terrible game.
That was awful.
Brutal. It was awful. Maybe that's why he wanted to go there. Maybe that game alone solidified it for him.
Shoot, man. I mean, they were rocking that night, weren't they?
Yeah. Killed it. Yeah.
But
and he got 4 years, 24 million, which is actually under what a lot of people anticipated that he would get. So we assumed that he wasn't getting a ton of bites at the number that he had been valued at previously to free agency, which that blows my mind a little bit. Because Mike Hilton, I mean, we definitely thought heavy on in the market. Like he would be a heavy hitter for sure.
Especially, I mean, slot corner, nickel corner is so important now, and especially somebody who can play the run like him and
blitz like
he does. I mean, he's just a maker all around, you know. But
he's splashy and that's valuable anywhere. Doesn't matter. People keep saying,
you know, it's weird. It sucks that he went to the Bengals. It sucks that Bud left, but it's like those two guys. I mean, like I'm just so happy for them both. Like Bud, the first first 2.5 years of Bud's career, like, you know, everybody was on his ass, and then he just became an absolute stud. And then, I mean, Mike Hilton, you know, undrafted free agent. He was working at like a Champs Sporting Goods, and now he's, you know, cashing in 4 years. Like, how can you not be happy for the guy?
Right.
You know? So
right. I hope that they both go out there and kill it individually. I hope they, you know, go to Pro Bowls, and I hope they do great, but they're both still in our conference. So let's the good luck only goes so far.
Yeah.
He's so good when you don't play us.
Same goes for, you know, Matt Filer, which that was a shock. 3 years, 21 million.
I was shocked he got that much.
It seems like the market is bad for everyone except offensive linemen. Like, it feels like they're the ones.
You know why?
We saw it in the Super Bowl. Like,
exactly.
The Kansas City Chiefs just totally imploded because they had their offensive line was just weak ass awful. It was just it was not good.
And now they just signed Kyle Long tonight. I don't know if you saw that, but they signed me yesterday or whatever, and then they signed Kyle Long tonight. So yeah, they're building it up.
Wow. I mean, and they have the Chargers do have Sean Sarrett now. And so that's that connection, that offensive line connection.
Yeah.
So it made a little more sense when I realized that, because I didn't know that. I didn't think Filer would be a highly sought free agent.
Yeah, I did
not think that. I liked him in certain roles on that line. And I obviously depends where the Chargers are going to play him. Wish him the best as well. But again, that's another AFC team. Like, can we not?
Yeah.
Kevin Dotson now. I'm a Kevin Dotson.
Oh, same.
Huge.
How can you not be a Kevin Dotson fan?
He's gonna step into that role and just blow minds. Yeah, he's a unit. That
should have been in that role more last year.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Well, our guy, my buddy, I grew up with this kid. I went to high school with him, played football with him in high school. He went to Harvard. He played for the Chargers the last handful of years. Cole Toner. He's a versatile, do-it-all, depth kind of offensive lineman, one of my great friends, and he's a free agent. So I'm hoping that maybe the Steelers go out there and get him for, you know, a fair price, bring him in for some depth.
Love that.
At the guard positions. The smartest guy, I mean, Cole, he's like you know Cole.
Yeah, super smart.
I mean, he
also just like great guy. Like
yeah.
just like a guy you want on your team.
Yeah,
You're just
literally,
you're selling him to us right now. Let's call
seriously,
Kevin
he's
Culver
like,
right now.
you know, like he's very self-aware. Like he's like, you
Mhm.
know, he's not expecting to come in and start anywhere or anything like that. But like, he's a great depth guy. He stepped in the last 3 or 4 weeks for the Chargers last year and killed it. Like he's just, again, like Rice said, just like a guy you want on your team. So maybe Steelers go out there and get a depth offensive lineman and my guy Cole Toner. I'm crossing my fingers.
Well, you know, we're not going to make any moves in the first few days of free agency, but as always, when things start to calm down, that's when we go out and get our guys, like the steals. And so I don't think this year will be any different. I'm hoping that our wave of signing people starts with Juju Smith-Schuster. We shall see. But guys, we've retained on that offensive line. We got Zach Banner, 2 years, $9.5 million. I'm super stoked about that. I love Banner. I think he is a G. Some people are like, what did the Steelers see in him? He only played 1 game as a starter. The contract is confusing them a little bit. Not for me. I get it. How do y'all feel?
I love Zach Banner. He's I consider him a friend. So like this last year has been very it's been surreal for a lot of reasons, but it's been very surreal because I've been lucky enough to develop these like relationships and friendships with different Steelers players. You know, I mean, it's like been my favorite team my whole life, right? So like, but you know, so I talked to Zach again during the season fairly regularly. But I'm a huge Zach Banner fan. I mean, he's my buddy, but he was drafted to the Colts, our hometown team, in 2017 in the 4th round. They cut him, obviously. Then we snagged him, and he just put it all together. You know, a change of scene did him well, and he's shown plenty in 2019, especially when he would come in and be the the extra offensive lineman or the reporting is eligible, right?
Love it.
Good times.
He showed plenty of times where he's the Hulk, for God's sakes. He's huge. Like, throw him out there and let him toss some dudes around. And he loves being a Steeler. He loves Pittsburgh, and he's just a great dude as well. So I'm very happy for Zach, and he's been nothing but great to me and Riley and to my family. So I'm super excited to have him back in black and yellow for 2 more years at least.
He brings great energy to that team,
Really does.
especially to that line. I just love, I love his vibe.
Man,
The video that he posted.
Sideline before they still against the Giants, that hurt.
That
was rough.
And that's what we need. We need guys who are going to play with heart like that. And I feel
you just like and like unfortunately, our guy Vince Williams, he was a cap casualty. You can just tell with different dudes, you're like, that's a Steeler, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Williams, Steeler.
Yes.
Zach Banner,
Embody it.
Steeler. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yep.
You can just tell.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
You're so right. You're so right.
Uh-huh.
Another guy we kept, Cam Sutton, 2 years, $9 million. Seems like a little bit of a prove it deal. Sport Track had him valued at 7.2, which I thought was a little high. I didn't think he would get that, but I knew we were going to keep either Hilton or Sutton.
Yeah.
I was lobbying for Sutton personally. I like him for his size, his versatility. He can play on the outside. He can play in the slot. I love him in the slot. I love him lined up against a tight end in the slot. He's great in coverage. So I feel really good about that retention. And then obviously, as you said, like Vince, cut is destructive to us, like emotionally.
Yeah, that one hurt, man. I love Vince. I have a certain affinity for guys that are just Steelers, and he was a Steeler, man. But and he is a Steeler. I always will consider Vince.
And there is a chance, like if no one rushes and grabs Vince, there is a chance that we grab him for a better deal. Yeah. At the end of free agency, that's always an option.
Sure.
So,
And they're going to need to do something with linebacker because they saw last year like depth is so important, and the linebackers were just dropping left and right last year with
Crazy.
injuries. Devin Bush, Bud
Marcus
Dupree,
Allen in there playing, and
Yep.
God love him, but it's like,
Yeah.
you're figuring it out. But people ask me there, who's the most important Steeler to resign? I said either Cam Sutton or Mike Hilton, and people are like, "What about Bud? What about Juju?" And when I said, "Look, you're never going to re-sign Bud.
Mm-hmm.
God love him. He's at a prime position. He's going to get paid big bucks that the Steelers can never afford."
Right.
Juju, I love Juju. If he can come back, phenomenal, great. But you could make the argument, and I will every day, that a guy like Cam Sutton or Mike Hilton is more valuable when it comes to wins and losses than Juju is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just because of the position that they play. Being a corner, a Swiss Army knife, a nickel corner, in the defense, things like that. It's just more primed, like it just affects the outcome of the game more than a slot receiver type of play like Juju does.
Right.
I love Juju. I talk to Juju. You guys talk to Juju. With nothing against him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes down to the position. We can draft a receiver, and we probably will in the second or third round of this year. You can come in and produce the same amount as Juju. That's just how the NFL is now. You can't draft a guaranteed second rounder at slot corner,
Right,
and expect him to have the same kind of results as a guy like Cam Sutton or Mike Hilton. It's just how it is.
Especially not when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they don't.
Yeah,
They've
They do
tried
not ever.
for decades, and we don't. We fail.
Yeah.
So when you find a guy that we successfully draft and develop at the corner position, like, you hold on to that guy.
Yeah.
Period.
mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they did, and I hope that in 2 years he's earned a third contract.
Sure.
So we will see. But as far as what'll happen next, we still have a bunch of free agents out there. Juju, Big Al, Connor, Chris Wormley, Avery Williamson, Cassius Marsh, Sean Davis, Jordan Berry, Joshua Dobbs, the list goes on. Who out of those guys would you hope that the Steelers could retain?
Not Big Al.
Yeah,
Start there.
He's gone.
I think it's time to move on from him. I appreciate him. I was actually at the game in 2015 when Kelvin Beachum tore his ACL against the Cardinals, and they had brought in Big Al Villanueva, and it was like, oh God, this guy who's a tight end converted left tackle, it's going to be a shit show. And then he was the left tackle for 6 years, so I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some. You're all right. Okay. Here's the old X's and O's talk that were things like that. At this point, man, Juju, come on down, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come back. Why go to the Raiders? Why go to the Raiders or the Jets for? I don't know. I guess the millions of dollars, obviously, but you're Juju, dude.
But,
you made that on YouTube in 3 months. Who gives a shit?
Right.
He's another guy who I look at and I say, like, he's a Steeler. Like, that's how I feel about Juju Smith-Schuster. Like,
absolutely.
He just is. And with how the market is panning out thus far, the largest contract we've seen was Curtis Samuel just now, like an hour ago.
Yeah.
3 years, 34. So that's just over 11. That's not what these guys were allegedly commanding before free agency started. The market is just so oversaturated.
Well, thinking like 16, 17,
Yes. And Curtis was valued. I'm not saying this means jack shit, but valued more or higher than Juju was. So if he only got 11 per, what are we looking at for Juju? And what does that mean for the Steelers' potential to retain him? I think that our chances go up.
It's just, it's really like we're going into Thursday morning and Juju still hasn't. I haven't seen jack shit about him.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen like this team's close. This team has this offer. I haven't seen nothing, And again,
it seems like all of those reports have been either from fake accounts or just like some rando posting a screen recording of Instagram DMs. Like, nothing of substance
Right.
has been brought up about Juju. And I mean, I think it's worth noting that like even until I don't know, within the last few hours, like there wasn't really much about Kenny Galladay either. Like there wasn't
Did he sign
movement
somewhere?
happening. It's sounding like maybe the Giants are interested, but I still don't think
They want to
that's
meet with
official.
them first.
Interesting too is that you have Corey Davis, you have Marvin
Mhm.
Jones, Kenny Galladay, Curtis Samuel that have all been signed before Juju.
Yep.
So it's like, again,
It's-
does that bode well for us? Does that
Right.
bode well to just say, hey man, like
Every time a we've been talking back and forth about this. Every time a wide receiver signs with another team, we're like, we have more hope for Juju. But then I'm like, are we gonna have our hearts broken? Because now we're like,
Our hopes are getting up. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's very weird. And then you see Diana Rossini from ESPN saying that she's talked to GMs of unnamed teams who are in the market for wide receivers who are saying that these guys are asking for numbers that these teams will not bite on, including his own. So it's like, if they aren't on the same page and won't get on the same page, then do you look at the grass in Pittsburgh and say, this is the greenest grass I see and I'm staying? You know,
Right.
if
Be
I
ideal
don't
for
think I'm going to
us.
get, absolutely. If I think I'm not going to get my 16 mil, do I sign for, you know, considerably less in Pittsburgh and stay, you know, where I say that I want to be? I think it'll be really telling. And I'm scared to wake up every morning and look at my phone and be like, Juju Smith-Schuster
Mhm.
I
signs.
really
da-da-da.
am
right.
terrified.
Because it hurts so bad with Bud and Mike, you know. It's like
Yes.
Juju's a Steeler. You like Juju? Yeah.
Yeah.
Juju's good.
Yeah.
He's fun.
It's funny that like you guys were saying earlier that like he's just younger than me now. Like
Not wild.
it's
You
incredible
forget.
how talented people
Mm.
are, and like now I'm just older than them, and I'm like, what did I do with my life?
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Juju. I think that he's fun and he like keeps it entertaining, and I hate the hate that he gets for like being a 24-year-old kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And speaking of linebackers, like we were earlier, like Avery Williamson, he was valued at 7.2 prior to free agency starting. I know the Steelers aren't going to give him that, but doesn't look like any other team has either. He's still out there. It's just, you know, it's a
It's a
shit
weird
show
year.
right now.
It is weird. Yeah, like what's gonna happen with James Conner, you know? I mean,
Nothing
Right.
on him either.
where's he gonna go? I mean, a lot of mock drafts and a lot of people we sent the house to Clemson to watch Travis Etienne, which I would rather have Travis Etienne over Najee Harris.
What I said. Yep. Totally agree.
You know, catching the ball out of the backfield and pass protect, all this stuff. Like, I think he's Alvin Kamara 2.0.
I couldn't agree more. And maybe it's just like the Louisiana tie, but I totally agree.
A little bit, but I mean, seriously, like you watch like ETN. I mean, he's like, you know, he's physical, he's slippery, he again catching the ball out of the backfield. Like I wrote about it. Like you remember when Le'Veon was in like his prime, right? And like Big Ben, and we were booming, right? Business was booming. Like Big Ben, and it's more important now more than ever. You know, if shit wasn't happening, you know, Le'Veon would sneak out to the side, he'd dump it off to him.
Yeah.
And he turned all of a sudden a no-go play into 8 yards or 20.
Yeah.
He's the same guy, dude. Like,
I'm high on him.
That you can hand the ball off to, but also like when Big Ben's out of the shotgun and shit's not happening, boom, dump it off to Travis, make it happen, Captain. So
I totally agree. He's got great vision too. And aside from that, like Najee Harris, he's got mileage already coming out of college. Considerably more.
I like Najee too. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
I just
prefer
Travis. If we're going 24 running back, give me ETN over Najee. That's all I'm saying. But if we take Najee, I'm cool with that too.
So where does James Conner realistically go? Because we're seeing teams like the Packers kept Aaron Jones, and like the running back market isn't crazy saturated right now, but the bigger names have been signed up at this point. And I'm just not sure where James Conner would be a fit, because if there's really a need at running back, I'm not sure teams are going to want to take that gamble by signing him, because he, for one, hasn't really been able to stay healthy. And when he was healthy, he was playing behind a shitty offensive line. So he didn't really get a whole lot done. So like realistically, where does James Conner land?
Great question, Jordan. I'm trying to rack my head of, the Colts just re-signed Marlon Mack for a year today. I don't know. It could just be like a random team. I mean, I can't think of a team off the top of my head that I'm like, oh yeah, besides the Steelers of, let's draft an ETN, and you got ETN and Connor and maybe a Snell, and bada boom, we're good. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a squad. So
does James Conner go somewhere to be a feature back, or does he go somewhere to be like a third down back?
I mean,
that's another question.
I think that we've seen, like, drafted in 2017. 2017 was Le'Veon's year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've seen that, and we all love James Conner, and he, Pittsburgh tie is phenomenal, and what he's been through, great. It's all on another conversation. But I feel like we've just seen that he is what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a guy that you're gonna, the old, like Tomlin says, like the bell cow. You're not gonna just like hand it to James Conner 32 times, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just not who he is in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's still a very, very good football player, but
Right.
so I don't know. I wouldn't think that feature back is in his future, but he beat cancer and proved all of us wrong and came to the starter for the Steelers, at the end of the day. So maybe we'll prove us all wrong again. I don't know.
Yeah. True that. All right. So we talked about the draft. Let's move on. We have our buy and sell segment next, brought to you by Infinity Trades X. So if you're interested in trading on the stock market, or you're a first timer looking to just jump in, kind of learn, Infinity Trades X is an excellent resource. I use them personally for trade advice and options that I'm looking at purchasing, buying, selling, whatever. You can find them at Infinity Trades X on Twitter and at www.infinitytradesx.com. That's their website. Go check them out. So in this buy or sell segment, we have Diontae Johnson as wide receiver 1. And we're going to start with Joey and Riley. What do you guys think? Buying, selling?
What do you think, Brad? We're gonna negotiate here.
I was just gonna say, like a coach on the sidelines.
Right? I love it.
I need one of those.
Basically, can he step into the first wide receiver role, and put up those wide receiver 1 numbers that Steeler Nation clearly expects out of their number 1 wide receiver? Because we have had people be extremely vocal about the fact that they aren't happy with the numbers that our alleged number 1 put up last year.
We say we're going to buy it.
Oh, okay.
We're going to buy it. Look, I think Diontae has shown in his first 2 years, you take away the drops, it's very hard to cover Diontae Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
The man can get open pretty much whenever he wants. He had a drop problem. Hopefully he can figure that out. But when you look at, because I'm an all 22 guy now, I watch the film. So, everybody get off my rear. You know what I mean? The guy can get off the line of scrimmage with the best of them. He can beat any kind of coverage that you got. He's got speed. He's got quickness. He's like, in like baseball or softball, and I grew up just playing baseball, so this is like the easiest comparison. Like the guy that, or the girl that can make like the really, really, like the diving play and like, the crazy play, but then like every now and then when it's just like the routine, like grounder, they kind of, that's Diontae, right? Like he's always going to make the spectacular play, and he'll mostly make the routine play. he just has to make those routine plays 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Routinely.
Yes, make the routine plays routinely. Sounds like you
Who
had
am I, Mike Tomlin?
I did back in the day. I believe in this guy. I mean, he's explosive. He's electric. We've seen it on punt returns. When the ball is in this guy's, when he secures the ball in his hands, watch out, man. Watch out. So I believe in Deontay Johnson. We're buying that.
Okay. Fine.
Love it. Jordan?
I'm gonna buy that like it's a freaking vow on Wheel of Fortune. I think that he is a spectacular talent. And yeah, the dropping thing, that's definitely an issue, but show me a receiver besides maybe Juju last season on the Steelers squad that didn't have an issue with drops. Like, so if that's the metric we're using to gauge whether or not he's going to be a number one wide receiver, then nobody on the Steelers roster, assuming Juju walks, is going to be a number one wide receiver, because they all had, they're going to have to figure that out as a unit. And I don't know if that's just that they all have to hit the jugs and like really get in front of, the jug machine. Okay. Yeah. The thing that, shoots footballs, you catch them or it hits you in the face, that one. Yeah, I think that he has all of the skills that are required to be a number one receiver. And he's physical, he's smart, his vision of the field is just unmatched. And I think he has the ability, but agree with Joey. He has to get the drops under control. And once he can put that case of the dropsies behind him, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to add much more to it because I think Joey and Jordan really covered it, and I'm going to buy. Again, right, if you can't make those catches, you will be sat per Mike Tomlin. So it's vital that you do your job.
Yeah.
I love Coach T. He said, if you can't do it, we'll find somebody who can.
Yes, and they sat him.
And they will. The Steelers draft wide receivers like better than anyone in the league. And so they for sure will do that. I'm also going to buy it. The only other guy that I would consider for the number one wide receiver in Pittsburgh, assuming Juju walks, is Chase Claypool. I don't believe in the alleged rookie wall that he hit last year. I think that was bullshit. But
everybody,
I don't know what that was, but I love Chase. As Jordan said last week, he is not a diva. I think that he has got great hands. I think that he's super athletic, and I love that he is essentially, he's essentially a tight end playing the wide receiver position with the athleticism to play the wide receiver position. So love Chase, but you're right. Like Deontay is, if he could get his hands figured out, elusive, electric. There's no one better on that team as far as like if we're looking for a splashy big play down the field wide receiver, like Deontay's the guy. So if we're going to judge wide receiver one on numbers like people like to do, it's got to be him.
Yeah, we were at, like I said, we were at that Bengals game, and you remember, was it right before half or right at the start of the third quarter when Big Ben dropped back, tossed it down the right sideline, just like against the Colts game to Deontay, and they linked up on a nice deep ball. I was like, oh, we're going to be all right. We're going to come back. But, I mean,
right.
That's what Deontay provides, He's a splash play waiting to happen.
Exactly. And towards the end of the season, I believe that he started figuring out his drop issue. Like they all did. You saw Ebron drop less. You saw Chase drop less. James Washington didn't really drop as many just because he doesn't get as much play time, quite honestly. And I think he deserves more, but that's a whole other topic.
You got married, by the way. Congrats.
I think that he's
and
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Good.
James Washington. He got married.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So,
Congrats to him. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. He was. He looked good. He was wearing like a purple
Mhm.
jacket.
Like a violet. Yeah, it was like a custom suit. It looked really nice.
We're
Love
good.
that.
Look
It was
at
like an
him.
outdoor wedding like us. We got married outside, so it was
Mhm.
one of those deals.
Love it.
James. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Are you
congrats
guys ready
to James
for the rapid
Washington.
fire round?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're gonna have fun with this one.
Mhm.
Cool.
Sam, you want to do the honors?
I will start first.
Love it.
So these questions are obviously just meant to be fun. So Riley, you can totally join in. We're gonna start with who is the better rapper, Le'Veon Bell or Terrell Edmonds?
Ooh, I don't know if she's familiar enough with them both. Because Terrell's still a Steeler, I'll say Terrell. I don't think
Dig it.
Hell
they're.
yeah.
I think they're probably both not that great, but because Terrell's still a Steeler, and Le'Veon had all his stuff that he did. We're gonna go with 34.
Yeah. I'd say the bar is set pretty low for Steelers hip hop artists.
Really?
I mean, we totally forgot about AB. So
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
post Steelers though, right?
no
That
more,
he
no more
started.
white women 2020.
Oh, I need a
I think
lobotomy.
I'm pretty sure his girlfriend is a white woman.
She is.
Yes, she is. They were going through some difficult times.
It was a
guys.
passive aggressive.
Cut him some
uh,
slack.
Yeah, they
What
could
a
use
guy.
some counseling.
What a guy,
Yeah.
right? You know.
Speaking of better nickname, Mr. Big Chest or Boo Boo Smith Schuster?
Oh, which one do you like better?
I kind of like Mr. Big Chest because it's like it could be like a cat's nickname.
What? A
Like
cat?
Mr. Sir.
I guess Remy
One of
could
our friends
probably
has
be-
a cat and its name is Mr. Sir.
So
Oh,
maybe
I love that.
we have our Remy boy. Maybe he could be named Mr. Big Chest.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like. Yeah, I like Boo Boo.
That's
Wait,
pretty good.
but is that like making fun of him?
Yeah, that was what AB tweeted
called
one
was.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he Boo Boo.
I kind of like.
Remember, he said, "I'm better than Boo Boo Smith Schuster."
But he spelled it like shoe, like you wear.
Yeah, like SHOE.
Yeah,
Weirdo.
Juju's girl or girls call him Boo Boo. You know,
Boo Boo Smith here.
Boo Boo, my Juju.
I kind of like that.
Juju, my Boo Boo.
Juju Mama Boo Boo. Do you know what that's from, by the
The
way?
Office.
Yeah,
Boo
Yes.
Boo Mama Juju.
Boo Boo Mama Juju.
Boo Boo Mama Juju.
It's not my fault. I was
By
raised
the
on
way-
Harry Potter.
Do you guys listen to the Office Ladies podcast? Sorry for the sidebar, but they
Oh,
did
yes.
dinner party today. Dinner
Mhm.
party episode dropped
It was
today.
excellent.
Dang, I'm gonna check that out.
Steve Carell improvised snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. You have no idea the personal or the effect that 3 vasectomies has on a person.
Still, one of my favorite all-time entertainment scenes is the plasma screen.
Oh God, it's so
Oh my
good.
God.
Sometimes I just
That is a $200
Yeah.
plasma screen TV, baby.
sometimes I just stand here and watch this for hours. And he pushes it back in and it goes like this.
You have a lot of people over, right into
Need
the
some
wall.
more room, right into the wall. Oh God,
so
that was my
good.
favorite tangent ever. All right, best Tomlinism: nameless gray faces or in the kitchen.
Which one do you like? It's like I mean, it's what Coach T says, but like
In the kitchen.
in the kitchen. Yeah, I like in the kitchen too.
Cool.
Coach T, I mean, you could go on for days and days about the different things that he says, but
We talked about like illustrating a children's book with Tomlinisms.
I like that.
Like,
I like
how
that.
funny
Yeah,
would that
you could
be?
do that. You could do,
Right?
you could do Coach T ad libs. You know, like
For sure.
that. I feel like the nameless gray faces. Everybody likes to make shit into that stuff that it's not.
Mm,
You know, a nameless gray faces. Everybody wants to make a big deal, just like how Juju said. You know, the Browns is the Browns. Florio, fucking idiot. I hate that guy.
yeah, he's
Like he made some joke about free agency the other day. I was like, "You're not funny and you're a loser."
I was like, you guys are offended by your own team name now? Like,
Right. I was
Browns
like,
are the Browns. Like,
hey, dumbasses. You haven't made the playoffs in 20 years. Like,
Oh my
you
God.
are the Browns. Cool. Beat us one time. Like, no shit he's going to say that. Anyway.
Right.
did you see, Joy? They made a coin about that. They made a coin. Yes, it's. I'll have to find a picture of it.
I'll one up them. The Browns and the Browns. The Browns is losers. Okay.
Oh,
Browns is losers.
Shots fired. Pew, pew,
You have one good night in the last 25 years of your existence.
It was their Super Bowl.
You sad.
It was their Super Bowl.
Anyways, what were we talking about, Coach Tomlin?
Worst city, Cleveland or Baltimore?
Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that's the next
Baltimore at least wins and has done something. Don't get me started on Cleveland and all that nonsense. Or yacht or yacht or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh yeah,
Yacht. I like that more.
Yacht. Yeah, that's preferable.
The female boat woman decided to quote tweet me after they beat us. Like they waited 4 days and then they tried to go back and find something. And I was like, so between your guys' 80,000 combined followers, you got 100 likes. So proud of you guys.
And I love how everybody's like, when Big Ben's coming back, all the Browns fans are like, hey,
I know.
Browns fan, this makes me so happy. I'm like, oh, really? Because he's 25-3-1 in his career against you.
Right. Like your daddy's coming back. Congratulations.
Seriously.
Yeah, he had one bad game against you. And let's not forget that while the first half was rough, he lit them up the second half. He came back and what was he throwing? Over 70 times. He had over 500 yards. So let's stop this whatever you want to call it, this act that Ben is washed and can't beat the Browns and he's the worst quarterback in the division. Please.
Hey, you know what?
Scare me with that.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. So congrats, Cleveland. You stumbled upon one.
Your nut was a really shitty snap to start the game. That was your nut. It set the tone for the whole game. And congratulations. We were the ones who lost that game. They played fine. But I don't even want to give them credit. No. No. We lost the game.
Next year, enjoy your nut, but you're a blind squirrel walking into another trap. So good luck next year.
God. Okay, so something else we touched on earlier, Alex Highsmith. So who has bigger potential between the two, Highsmith or Terrell Edmonds?
Highsmith.
Agreed.
Although we did see Edmonds progress astronomically last year, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good for the team.
When you're astronomically progressing is you actually get your hands on a
do
ball,
something,
letting it go over the top of you.
It helps. It helps when Minka Fitzpatrick is opposite.
Yeah,
right?
He
alleviates some of the burden.
He did progress, but no, I'm rolling with Alex all day. Yeah, we're rolling.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right, last one. You got to fight one to the death. Vontez Burfict or Pac-Man Jones?
Oh. Physically wise, I feel like I probably match up better with Pac-Man. It's kind of Pac-Man's been he's been in some stuff, man. He's
in the news a lot.
Whether it's at
you have to worry about him mentally.
Whether it's at a strip club or an airport or Pac-Man's been through it all. Just physically straight up, I don't think that I could hold ground with Vontez because he's just that much bigger than me. Adam, Pac-Man, I should say, at least it's I probably am taller than him. I think I might have more of a reach than him.
So if you're boxing,
so maybe I'll do one of these to him and he'll get to a point where he'll try to rush me and I'll just do that.
There you go.
So I'll go with Pac.
Right.
Perfect. That was my favorite rapid fire.
That was
ever.
Awesome. Good. That was fun. Yeah.
Well, this is the end.
This is the end.
Sadly.
But seriously, we want to thank you, Joey and Riley, for coming on. We had so much fun. I know Riley, like the X's and O's of this probably was like kind of boring to you, and you're like, oh, when is this going to be over? But really, we want to thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
hanging out with us.
Absolutely. No, this was, again, like Collinsworth said earlier, you know, you guys' work is great, and this is, you know, I love what you're doing, and
I do think it's really cool what you guys are doing, and I'm glad that there's something like you guys out there for people like me that like don't necessarily know everything about everything Steelers wise, but I think it's really cool to see women doing what you guys are doing, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being
Appreciate
here.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
So hold on, your favorite Steeler? Tell them.
Oh yeah,
she loves Vance.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the only jersey I have.
Oh,
he's a
wow.
good dude.
Respectable.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I think that he's a really great guy, and I think that he was talented, and I liked watching him play. So
we will miss him.
We're glad, like we talked about, retired or dead. Thank God he's not dead.
But I did when he was still playing.
Yeah.
Jersey, he's retired.
And that paid off.
It did.
And it paid off.
Maybe it just doesn't apply to me.
And we were actually at the game in the end zone actually against the Colts for the touchdown in 2019 where you know, Rudolph hit him and he kind of like fought through some people and crossed the line. So she saw, you know, one of his last touchdowns of his career as a Steeler, and we were going crazy. So
that's awesome.
I love it.
This was seriously, this was a ton of fun. Thank you for including Riley. And
my first ever podcast.
You did wonderful.
To include Riley.
You guys are great, and I'm excited to you know, they've got the draft coming up.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully Juju coming back. Maybe we'll cross our fingers, knock on wood. And you know, a ton of Steelers talk to be had. So we appreciate you having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. And if you're not already, everyone follow us on Twitter at Yinzhers and on Instagram at Yinzhers Official.
And make sure you're also subscribed to us wherever it is you listen to podcasts. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that as well. But yeah, you can hear us live either Wednesday or Thursdays, and then on your favorite podcast platform the following day. But thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode, and